Right now on Full Custom Garage, Master Metalman Ian Roussel continues the transformation of a 1955 Oldsmobile.
I gotta finish this thing. It's looking good, but we're not out of the woods yet.
And Ian's client has his doubts.
I'm really anxious. He's got some good ideas, but I know that you just keep throwing dollars at these things.
Bill's looking at buying a replacement, but I ain't gonna let that happen. I got plans.
And later, the workload doesn't get any easier as Ian takes on a Henry J. Chop Top.
I thought this chop was gonna be a walk in the park. I told the client it was gonna be like the VW Bug I made for him, and that was easy. Oops. I don't know what I signed up for with this project. I thought I was just pulling it out of the ditch to ship it down the road. I'm in deep. I ended up chopping the roof 3 inches, and I sunk the windshield into the cowl, so I needed to make a tray to support it. I tilted the rear glass forward and sunk the edges into the body. I needed to make that happen, but then I decided it'd be even better if I made it a 2-door. Finished up the bodywork, got it ready for paint, and we decided something mellow, yellow and white 2-tone paint job. And that's when Bill decided he wants to keep it.
The car's turning out. I'm starting to fall in love with this stupid car. The idea was to move it. Well, I don't like to move it now.
I gotta finish this thing. It's looking good, and we're almost there. This is my custom bed sheet, window gasket, insulation, vibration dampener trick. Very specialized. This whole window is gonna be suspended in a big rubber goo, big silicone blob. The original window rubber won't fit, so I'm pretty much just hanging it on tape right now. Then I'm gonna set shims, little rubber shims in it, so that the glass is positioned. Then I'm gonna glue all the way around both sides of it. That way the glass is never actually touching the metal, it's just suspended in a big silicone frame. The last bit of fitment is the stainless steel that goes around the glass. This car's roof line is modified drastically through the glass area. I'm having to make special clips to hold it in place, trim the molding down, and refit it. It's a different shape than it was from the factory, so it's taken some time. Somebody who knows what a chopped car should look like is gonna pay attention to all these window moldings. Having them fit right, it's a big deal. It's what's gonna sell the car. Using the original glass, the original window trim, and making it look like it's a factory thing, it just enhances my work. It makes it look stock. That's the tricky thing. Once I got the glass in, I put on the white walls we got from Coker, and it really set it off. This car just needs something to put it over the top. I called my friend Scratch in. He's the best pinstriper I know. I think he's just gonna finish this car to perfection.
You know what? When I first saw the Oldsmobile, I'm walking up the hill to the shop, and the Oldsmobile's sitting there in the middle of the shop space, and it just kind of brings me back. It's very nostalgic for me. I like that they hadn't changed the grill or anything just yet, and then they chopped the roof, so it already it has that look of it's kind of fast, but it's elegant. Don't mess with me.
Scratch really likes Oldsmobiles and traditional customs. I knew he'd be perfect to pinstripe this thing, but Bill was a little skeptical.
What's your thoughts? I'm thinking kind of conservative, probably by your standards.
Well, I'm super conservative. I know that's hard to believe.
It is.
It's actually really hard to believe, but it's this guy over here.
He's the wild man.
Ian introduced me to Bill, and we're gonna do just a mild striping job on it today, and he's gonna let me loose on it. So I'm gonna tell him kind of what I want to do and see what his idea is, but hopefully he'll just give me the okay to do whatever I want, because it always turns out way better if I can just do what I want. Let the artist be the artist, let the customer like it. I figure we just do a piece here, a really nice piece, and then just a couple of small pieces on top of the headlights, the tail lights, and then in the trunk.
Scratch just explained what he had in mind, and Bill was totally on board. I tried pinstriping a couple times, and I know it's not for me. takes a real steady hand. You gotta be thinking 10 steps ahead of what you're doing. And I think it's best to just leave it to the pros.
It's one of my favorite cars, and I always enjoy striping an Oldsmobile or helping somebody with their Oldsmobile.
The pinstriping is like the final touches, you know? Your gal might put on jewelry or a fancy necklace. The pinstriping is just the last bit.
No, a lot of people don't know this, but pinstriping actually was an art form that was made up to cover up bad bodywork. So striping is always in the same places: in the front of the hood, in the middle of the deck lid. And that's where the emblems and stuff had been shaved off. And then over the headlights and over the taillights, because that's where they would French the headlights or French the taillights. But later on, custom bodywork was taking so long. People would have their cars at their shops for so long that they're like, let's just get a stock car, lower it, and do a panel paint job on it. Like, has a stock original paint around it, we'll just tape it all off and spray another color, or we'll tape it all off and just do striping around it. And that's basically what we're doing. What I want to do is I always start off with a teardrop in the middle, but I want to incorporate a rocket or a rocket theme or simulate a rocket because it is a rocket car, an Oldsmobile rocket. So when we're done, you're going to stand back and go, oh, look, there's kind of a little bit of rocket there. Here's the fins. I always start in the middle and then build my way out. That's been my rule of thumb since I first started striping. I always start in the middle and build my way out. And I'll take a step back and look at the car to see if that's enough striping or if it's too much or it needs more, another color, and then sometimes the customer will chime in.
I really like the pinstriping. It's subtle, but it came out great.
I am pretty proud of this job. When I got done with the striping today, I really like it. You just step back and look at it and everything has a really nice feel to it and it accents the proper pieces. You know, I had it wrap around the bezels, the taillight and headlight bezels, and then the front piece is really nice and elegant, and the back piece is not too much. It's just subtle. It's just a small piece in the middle, and I think it looks good.
Scratch's work was perfect. It was a no-brainer. Bill was stoked, but we're not out of the woods yet. The paint on this car looks great. All the little details are attended to, but it don't go nowhere. The engine has yet to run. Bill's saying it'll go. We just gotta see it.
All right, just give it a kick and I'll do the throttle.
The engine runs. It's got oil pressure. There's no weird clunking noises. That's a good sign. But it's just not acting right. There's something going on with the fuel delivery.
Ready?
Yeah.
She's coming apart, sir. I think it's a vacuum leak. Bill is talking about carburetor change or something, but it's definitely not right. I think old cars. I think I gotta take this down to my shop. Working out here at Bill's barn can only go so far. I gotta take this thing back to the lab, put the secret sauce in it, and make it go.
The car is coming together with every little detail. I'm really anxious. He's got some good ideas, but I know that you just keep throwing dollars at these things, and I've done enough, and it's a money pit.
All right, so mechanical stuff. Here we go. I got the radiator out. Bill's gonna get that thing boiled. There's a bunch of mud in there. Once I got this thing back to my shop, as usual, my intuition was 100% correct. Vacuum leak, big time. Somebody messed around with this carburetor. It's a mismatched base plate, so I'm gonna have to build some kind of an adapter. This is completely wrong. This was for a different carburetor or something, because there's no point in which this surface meets this surface all the way around. This little dips around the screws, that's your vacuum seal right there. And nowhere on this adapter do those two line up. So you're relying on a paper gasket. That's why there's a vacuum leak. I wasn't able to find a spacer that was 3/4 inch thick, at least not in the price range I wanted to spend. So I went up to Bill's, he wasn't around. I snuck into his backyard and found this piece of 3/8 plate. So 3/8 times 2 is 3/4, that's 6/8. Making a spacer for this carb out of some aluminum plate, I've done it before and it's always worked. Why not this time? So I'll just make 2 spacers and we'll use 3 gaskets. 1 on the manifold, 1 between the spacers, and 1 on the carb. This idea of making a carburetor adapter is a simple, cut it out, finish it, and assemble it. It's not rocket science, I can pull this off. Four hole saw holes, and that's what you get. Pretty cool. The whole deal with what I do is one of a kind. Nobody else has got this. Even though it's a simple carburetor spacer, that's the cool factor. So another issue that came up, you don't really consider it when you're just dealing with cars, but this was a 4-door. So we get the whole thing together and get ready to get in the back seat. It's a fixed back seat. Every 2-door either has a split bench or a full folding bench. So this isn't going to be okay, because otherwise it's a 2-seater. You can't get in the back. You always run into walls on a project like this. 2-door to 4-door conversion's pretty straightforward. The last thing you're thinking about is whether the seat's going to fold forward. Bill's looking at buying a replacement, but I ain't going to let that happen. I got plans. I'm going to pull this seat out and see if we can't make this one pivot. So hopefully I can make this bench just fold forward. These seats look horrible, but I'm not worried about that. My friend Jack's a great upholsterer. He'll handle it. I just got to make them hinge. You can see how it's bolted together here. I'm hoping I can detach the back from it and put a pivot in there. I got a couple gate hinges. I can make this thing happen. 2 gate hinges in a dream. Money. So the whole seat back thing, my solve is a pair of these commercial door hinges I found at the local supply. So pretty much where the old bolts came through, just slip that in. I'm gonna weld all the way around so it'll be as strong as the old seat frame. Easy. Yeah, you won't need to fold it more than that to get into the back. So you can see here how this C shape indexes, so that'll make it very strong. See, it closes right back on its original holder. And I'm thinking if we take the old retaining nut and put it in here, it'll thread in and out and it'll adjust the pitch of the seat back. All right. A lot of parts in a car. Even though we had a big pile to start with, we're still missing door panels, fasteners, all kinds of trim stuff. I made a bunch of interior panels out of masonite. I'm gonna follow that through with the kick panels, bring them to the upholsterer. The interior panels, this used to be the inside of the door, but now nothing that used to fit the door will fit here. I'm gonna take some 1/4 inch masonite and just make up a blank shape that'll represent a door panel or an interior panel at this point. That looks pretty darn dang hot doggity good. Right at the edge, it's as much as we can get out of it. So I'm not sure exactly how the top fits, but I'll just get this trimmed up flush. This metal trim used to be the inside of the rear door. So I'm hoping that I can use this because it looks cool, it'll be paintable. I'm hoping that I can just trim this back and use it to retain the door panel. And it's kind of close to what we need. angry little machine. Bill stopped by. I showed him the whole deal with the carburetor. He's stoked. There was a vacuum leak. There was a vacuum leak. I figured it out.
So you put two to give you the...
And I got the gasket, and voila.
One of the nicest things about Ian, he always goes to my scrap pile to look for stuff, and that's pretty cool.
I notched them in there.
That's way cool.
Yeah, made it super simple. The back detaches.
So it's just gonna all fold forward.
Just like every other car in the world.
We're saving money because we didn't have to buy a seat, so I'm all in.
I showed him what I'm doing with the interior. It's all in-house. All I'm gonna do is ship this car to the upholsterer, and it's a done deal. So that's what's happening.
Very good progress.
Once Bill left, I just needed to install the carb and see if I could get it running. All right, so put those there, put those there. So instead of one gasket, we're using 3. Starting to get nervous. Dropping a little piece of shoe leather on top. Number 3, it's like a stack of pancakes. It's awesome. Oh. Voila. All I gotta do right now is put in the radiator, fill it with fuel and with water. Yeah, it's pretty much ready to start as soon as it's got fluids in it. That's a little bit better. Let's feed the pig. Sometimes the old guys know what they're talking about. Bill had a hunch that this was a good running engine. Sure enough, man, it sounds tight. Really good. The whole problem was that vacuum leak. You can hear how it's like hands off, it idles. It's totally good. Started right up. Just had to bleed the brakes and it's time to run it. Car drives good. I'm stoked. The steering's tight. The brakes work great. I like it just like it is. Bill was right. The thing runs great. Cruise is nice. Everything seems like it's legit. I just got to get the seats off to upholstery and this thing's wrapped. I just came down here to the valley, my old stomping grounds. Came to see Jack, the upholsterer. He's done a bunch of work for me in the past, and these Oldsmobile seats should be a no-brainer. I've been friends with Jack for over a decade. I found out about him word of mouth. He's the old school dude. He's been there, he's done it. He's worked for Barris, a lot of the SoCal custom shops that were around in the 50s and 60s. It's really a no-brainer. All the upholstery goes to Jack because he's the man.
I worked for Barris for 5 years in North Hollywood over here, and we were always doing something creative, you know. 'Cause he comes up with some wild stuff. He's a lot like Ian, you know.
So I was thinking like just gray, maybe some stitched things, make it look kind of like that.
Like these?
Yeah.
All the way across.
You know, it's like a 1955 styled car.
Sure.
Nothing fancy, it's chop top, but nothing too crazy, so I just want to keep it mellow. I'll tell you what, you spent a lot more time around cars of this era than me, so I think I'm gonna leave it up to you.
Well, that's because I'm old.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
an old guy.
You were there. I totally trust Jack on his design. He's been around since this car was built. I mean, he knows what's up.
Back then, the cars had character. You know, you could see a car go, you'd know what it was immediately. Today, they look like jelly beans. They're all round, and they're just different colors. They don't have the personality like the cars in the 50s and 60s had. Not even close.
All right, well, I'm gonna leave it up to you. Give me a call whenever you're ready, and I'll have the boss sign you a check.
All right.
How's that sound? Just tell me what you want. I'm on the last leg of finish work with Bill's Oldsmobile. After seeing this car come complete, chop top, the whole deal, it got me spiced up to start another one. The big fabrication tricks, they're the starting block of any custom project. The Oldsmobile's really tedious at this point. My favorite part's the beginning, so I'm starting on another one. I built a VW Bug for some clients up in Canada. They brought me down a Henry J. Pretty cool car. They want me to chop the top and do a bunch of other work to it. Everybody calls this car a Henry J. The VIN tag says Kaiser Fraser Corp. Apparently that's the manufacturer. I've also heard people refer to this car as a Sears Allstate because it doesn't have a trunk. I guess these were sold through the Sears catalog as an Allstate. So I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna chop the top. Mark gave me a wish list on what he wanted to do to the car, and he's not in a rush. So that gave me some time to really figure out how I wanted to chop it and go forward with the build. The thing that thrilled me about the car was it looks like a cartoon. I mean, it's got all these wild lines on it already, so there's really not much left to customize. The first step is to just take everything I'm not gonna be working on off. This car is just pinned together. It's got a full custom chassis under it already, so I'm taking off the hood, the fenders, just get everything out of the way, because all I'm concerned with is the roof pillars. I love the way this car disassembles. Everything unbolts. It really just unbolts to this bare body shell. It makes it way easier to work on. The whole concept here is just try to simplify it. The less cutting, the mo better. My client, Mark, he's a helicopter mechanic. He's like high-end, in-demand guy. They've got him on duty in Afghanistan. Hey man, how's it going? Long time no see.
Hey Ian, it's been a while there, Ian. Over here in the sandbox again playing.
That's a crazy lifestyle, man. He's like locked up in a bunker somewhere repairing helicopters. He's dreaming about this car, and I think he's getting cabin fever. Getting ready to start on your car finally. It's been sitting on hold here for a while, but the chop top, I'm ready to roll on it, you know?
You got free reign on this car, buddy. It's all yours. Whatever you decide to do. I want you to go radical on it, just like the Bug, because the vibe on the Bug is awesome. I want the same vibe on the Henry J. It's a true Ian Roussel original, just like the Bug.
Mark is looking for something really radical, and I don't think it's a bad idea, you know, on the whole. So we're just gonna have to see what develops. I'm feeling it out. All right, nothing new about this whole structural deal. It's just a typical scenario. You gotta brace up all the door openings, put a couple cross braces. I threw some straight legs down to the chassis, so everything's braced up. This is a bare shell, it's super light, there's no engine, nothing mechanical's hooked up, so it's really just about getting this steel shell squared up and braced strong enough to cut the roof off. The whole idea of this chop for me is simplicity. I'm trying to work through it relatively quickly. I don't want to cut the roof open, bottom line. So you can see this window right now. I mean, with the rubber and everything else, it's probably a 16-inch window. So if you were to take a third out of 16 inches, I mean, 5 times 3 is 15. So a third out of it would be a little over 5 inches. So you could see a 4-inch chop. You know, there's a 2/3, 1/3 ratio thing going on. 3 inches is still pretty mellow. Either way, I'm making a bunch of marks on this thing every inch. I'm gonna cut it 2 inches, and then I got these marks. I may even go to 4. I might even go to 5 inches. So the whole roof is gonna follow the A-pillar down. It's gonna follow the angle of the A-pillar down. So that's gonna make this B-pillar slant forward. You see him do it on Mercs, shoeboxes. I did it on a Volkswagen. Since this angle isn't really predictable because of what I'm gonna do with the rear, I'm just gonna cut this out. I'm just gonna cut this right through in these corners because this guy is gonna lean and we're gonna have to put in some little pie cuts in here. My whole game plan with this chop is retaining my favorite part of the car, and that's from the B-pillar back. The whole rear window section, I'm trying not to modify it. Now, this is the cool part. I've seen some other fastbacks done like this, and I think it really just makes the car way more radical looking. In the C-pillar, I'm just gonna cut this out of the way completely, because what's gonna happen is this is where the fender mounts up to this edge right here. So I'm gonna cut it just above where the fender mounts. My concept from the start is to cut the A-pillars and slide the whole roof forward and lower. By doing this, I won't have to widen the rear of the car. I'm actually gonna cut the whole back of the car off because this shape is so cool, I don't wanna mess with it. I wanna retain this, and then I'll create these little edges that flow into the rear fenders. Yeah, so the whole rear of the car is disconnected. I'm gonna chop the windshield posts and then pull out the B-pillars. All right, just put in a couple temporary braces, that way I can cut this B-pillar, snap this off, and the roof should drop down. That's it. It's all cut apart. I almost feel like the rear's got to come down a bit. It's too much. To go from 3-inch in the windshield pillars to 0 on the back, it looks a little too humpback to me. I don't like it. Turns out I'm gonna have to cut the rear of the roof. There's just no way to make it look convincing without taking the proper steps. I kind of want to talk to Mark about it. I give him periodic updates almost daily when I'm working hard, and I really just need him to know what's going on. Well, I emailed you those pictures. You saw them of it all mocked up, right?
I did. It's looking good, man.
I'm trying to talk back and forth with Mark, get a little direction maybe, but he's just up in the air. He wants to see me do my thing, so no matter what I discuss with him, it's always, do your thing, Ian. At first, I really wanted to go radical with this car. It's such a crazy looking machine, but as I got into it, I realized it's all function. The chassis is already pro street. This thing is a race car for the street. I'm not looking to make this radical custom that's undrivable. This thing is all business, it's got to perform. The whole deal with this build is Mark, my client, signed up for my work. In the end, I got to figure out what I like. That's a pretty good job. I'm into it. I got the A-pillars all finished off. I'm committing to this chop. That's the height of the roof. I just ground them out and sanded them. I was hoping to not cut this roof. I just wanted to see how the side glass was going to fit in. The roof is actually tapered towards the rear, so what happens is the glass obviously can't flex. If I put a straight board here, you'll see it hits the front, but the back is out. The glass isn't going to be able to fit properly. It's going to cause this rubber trim to pop back out. I wasn't looking forward to cutting this roof and making it wider, but I think I'm gonna have to. I started looking at it and I found that this drip rail was actually tapered. So I think I can use this to my advantage. It looks like the drip rail is straight all the way through the door, and then right at the B-pillar, it starts to taper in. So if I was to attach the B-pillar, trim it, and pull the rear of the roof out, it'll go straight right back through. It'd be easier to cut the drip rail off, but by leaving that, people are gonna think it's a stock part, and then they're gonna start wondering. So that's what I gotta do, cut the whole roof, lengthwise, back to front. I thought this chop was gonna be a walk in the park. I told the client it was gonna be like the VW Bug I made for him, and that was easy. Oops. I just wanna pin these B-pillars in place first before I do any cutting. That way, nothing shifts from the door opening forward. So the angle cuts look pretty good. I can definitely commit to that. The only issue being now I just have to shorten the pillar. So this guy comes out fairly evenly. This guy matches up pretty good down here. It's not a really radical change in the shape of the window, which makes this fit up pretty simple. But still gotta shorten it. So the next step is to cut this corner and move it over. I'm not exactly sure how this is gonna work out, so I'm gonna keep my line a little bit low. Ideally, this is gonna blend right in with a piece of sheet metal. The most important thing to me is getting this drip edge over to the fender. So I'm just gonna cut up to the B-pillar. I'll probably do a little relief cut on the inside and see if I can just twist it a little, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to go all the way to the front. This is the thing I'm unfamiliar with. I'm just feeling it out. I'm gonna make a relief cut on the inside of the structure and then just zip the sheet metal open and see when it moves. This is really delicate because in pulling this panel out, it could buckle the drip rail, and I'm really trying to make it look right. That's the hard part. It's gonna work. I don't even have to cut ahead of the B-pillar. I just put a trim on the back side of that structure, and this guy will pull right over. I really lucked out. Made a couple cuts, I pulled the thing, and it snapped into place like it was meant to be. Yep, that's why I get paid the big money. Pretty cool. The thing is, it looks easy because I just cut it, but I've cut a lot of cars. I know how these panels flex, and that's why I made this decision. I'm just gonna weld it on there now, like I meant to do it that way. You could have cut this car anywhere. The reason I cut it where I did is because I know what I'm doing. So, see, I gotta fill that all the way through. It's gonna take a while, but I can handle it. The sides are mirror images of each other, so I'm gonna transfer this measurement, cut the same thing, like butter, make it happen. The plan for the rear of the car is to delete the taillights. Client wants to put in a custom set of Cadillac taillights in the fins, so the whole issue is the transition from there to here. My mission here is to just smooth out the entire rear end of the car, just make it look like it's futuristic, you know, Batmobile stuff. Deleting these taillights is really a major style change in the whole back of the car. It was Mark's idea for these new taillights, and I think it's a cool choice. The biggest repair panel in this whole project is around where the old taillights used to go. There's not a huge dimensional change between the roof and the fenders, but cutting out this taillight is a big hole. The rear panels on this are working out perfect. My idea to just wrap these flat sheets around all the curvature has worked out fine. The big challenge is getting these corners of the roof put in. The pie cuts are the biggest opportunity for disaster. If you overheat the metal, it's gonna warp on you. And with a curved roof like this, it's a big surface area and it could get messy real quick. The whole process here is fit up the panels really well so the gap you're welding up is even all the way around, and just repeat. Repeat panel after panel, taking my time. This whole process is really tedious, but it's the end result that makes you feel good. All right, well, that's pretty much the story. From here on out, it's just weld, hammer, grind, sand. Now that this thing is all tacked up, it's really about finish welding all the seams. Get all the levels proper, sand it out. I want to get the doors on and take a look at it as a complete car. The roof looks great. The final step is putting the doors on so it looks like a car. I got to cut this framework out of there and just put it together. From the start, the structure I put in never allowed me to have the doors in the proper position. So I'm stoked to get all this stuff cut back out and put the doors on for a final fit. That's the look. I've chopped a lot of cars, and this rear portion has been probably the most challenging out of all the chops I've done. It's such a big, graceful, sloping back end. There's a lot of welding. I pulled it off. I'm stoked. This car is way cool. I'm really happy we cut it as much as we did. I went back and forth with Mark a few times, but in the end, I think we nailed it. This is a great looking car. I sent Mark the photos of it, and he was stoked. Good call, Ian.
Oh, I love the way it looked. I mean, the pictures you sent me were awesome. I mean, it suits the car. It's like the Bug, which is what I wanted, and it's going to be one radical ride. Looking forward to seeing it and you and maybe some of your other little projects you're working on there.
Always got something.
That's right.
Cool, man. Take it easy. I'll talk to you soon.
You too, bud.
Right on. The Henry J is looking good. This part of the project is a success. I got to get back on the olds. The seats are ready. I'm sure they look good. Just going to talk to Jack and wrap this thing up. Sweet. So you did the little deluxe version too.
Yeah, well, this is like the...
That's cool. Yeah, let me grab
these out of here.
I'll grab them outside and set them up. Get a look. Jack knows this car inside and out. He's been around it. He did the seats, the rear panel, the front kick panels, all the door panels, the little trim pieces, etc. He used the same material. It was his design. It looks great. Take us to the drive-in movie theater, Jeeves. Well, I'll tell you what, it's better than I expected.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Every time, it's freaking great. That's why I keep coming back. Just gonna bolt these seats in, finish up the carpet, give it to Bill. Hey. Come on. You're not the center of attention. This is my show.
I thought the seats and the interior came out great, and it was a big, big improvement. He did a great job. I love the dark gray piping that he did.
Bill loves this car. He's ready to go to the drive-in movie theater. I think his wife is getting dolled up right now. Pretty classy, huh?
Very classy. Well, like always, Ian, it really looks nice. Nice job.
Thank you, sir. Glad you like it.
Nice job. You've carried this project clear to the end.
Yeah. The people who see this car finished on the street, they'll look at it, they'll dig it. But once you understand where it came from, that's the wow. That's the wow factor. This car was a mess.
You know, with Ian, every time I get him on board, none of these projects are simple. This was a huge, big undertaking. This thing was really rough, and he did a marvelous job on it. Just take a look at it. He really walked the last mile on it. He did the paint work, the body work. He did it all.
At the end of the day, 2 more projects down, 2 happy customers. That's just how I roll.